Hey guys, it's Kelly. I'm gonna attempt to do a makeup tutorial. I have no idea how this is gonna work. Forgive me because I just got out of the shower and blow dried my hair, so it makes me have a tomato red face. I have some redness in my face anyway, so it makes it look worse. What I'm going to try to do for you guys today, and it takes me a while to do my makeup because I have to just go slow. I don't have a particular routine I follow or anything like that, but I'm just going to kind of show you what I do. And this would be something that I would just wear every day on the daily, my easy go-to makeup. I have baseball games that I go to almost every single day, so this is going to be what I would wear there. You're not going to go full glam out in the country to a baseball game. People are going to look at you like, they're going to look at you like the devil in the pulpit. They really are. So, I would never go full glam. I'm not going to do anything like that. I'm going to do what I feel like is comfortable for me, and I'm going to try to remember to talk while I'm doing it. One of the first things I do is I turn on my lights and I turn on my mirror here so that I can see what I'm doing. And I do that, and then I have this little headband, and I push this back on my hair. The only thing I've done, I just got out of the shower, and I just dried my hair. It's just a thick mess right now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this headband on to keep the fuzzies out of my face so that I can work on a clean surface. Okay, I've already cleaned and more exfoliated and moisturized. I've done everything I need to do to prep. So one of the first things I do is I go in with my Urban Decay, and you have to shake this stuff, or at least it says to. I hardly ever remember to do it, but anyway, that's what I'm gonna do. All right, and then I'm just gonna cut my face. Okay. All right, I usually do that while I'm getting everything ready, but I had to try to get kind of ready ahead of time to be prepared and not have to dig for stuff while you're watching. So that's, what I usually try to do. So I'm just going to fan it just a little bit, just a little something to kind of make it dry or whatever. I'm very hot-natured, so I have to wear a face primer all the time. I always start off with a liquid because I feel like it soaks into the skin really well. And then today I'm going to use the Too Faced Primed and Poreless. If you can see it, I don't know. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put a little bit in my hand. Just enough that I can spread it in mostly my T-zone, above my lip, just the different places. I try to get it to cover most of my face. But I definitely get it under my eyes, on my forehead, and around my T-zone of my face. And I believe that you should bring everything down just a little bit, no matter what you're doing, because, and yes, I do get under my eyes, because I actually sweat under my eyes. I don't know if you guys do that or not, but I do. I mean, I like I said several times, I live in Alabama, and, it's February, and it honestly feels like summer outside. It's really warm today. It feels like early morning summertime, and it's like midday. So I know that sitting out in the sun at the ballpark, I'm gonna at the ball field, I'm gonna end up sweating. So I always make sure I do that first. Then I go in with, it really just depends, I do things different every, time or whatever. But today I'm just going to start with my makeup. And I'm going to go ahead and get my makeup on my face. I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Matte and Poreless. I dropped my mascara, sorry about that. So Maybelline Fit Matte and Poreless, and my F80 Sigma Flat Top Kabuki. So that's what I'm going to be blending my makeup in with today. And I just, I kind of dot. I have a lot of things that I have to cover up. So I put a lot on. And then what I do is, after I've put all that on and I've blended it really well, then I'll go back and add anything that I feel like is, that it needs. So I just start, just kind of buffing that in. Sometimes I kind of pat if it's, or whatever, if I'm already kind of hot. Being hot-natured as an older woman is really difficult. It ruins makeup. It does so many things. I don't necessarily try to get it underneath my eyes, but if it gets there, it doesn't bother me. I just try to, try to get it smoothed out as quick as possible. I found that the matte ones seem to dry on your face a lot faster, so you kind of have to work a little bit faster. And I am one of those also that believes that the more you blend, the better it'll look. So that's what I do. I just blend and blend and blend and blend. And I do take it down my neck. Once I've got my neck, my face really evenly dispersed before it dries, then I'll take it down my neck just a little bit, because I am white. This is a good color match for me, but I don't want to have that line. And I, go in my ear just a little bit like this right here, just to make sure that there's no makeup line. I cannot stand somebody to put on makeup and have a line. And even worse is if they put on a color that doesn't match and they've got a line, and they've not even tried to blend it down or anything. It just looks terrible. And I feel sorry for them when they do that, because I'm like, if I can figure that out, and I am so not trained. If I can do that, anybody can. So right now what I'm doing is I'm putting some extra on the spots that are the most red for me. That is usually right in here. I have some broken capillaries in my face in this area, which is pretty common. And, the older you get, things start to show up. I don't know. My dermatologist told me that this, I just pat on top of that because I want that to be really, opaque and cover very well. My dermatologist told me that it's just something that happens with your skin sometimes, but this redness that I have on my lower cheek, it's problematic for me. It's not rosacea, and he had some term for it, but don't ask me what he said. It's just something that I have to kind of deal with, and so it's something that I camouflage. And so I try to, these broken capillaries right here where my blush would go, I want to make sure that I take care of that part, because it shows, and it can be embarrassing sometimes, especially if I'm without makeup. So I always try to do something, at least if I'm not going to wear a full face of makeup, at least I am going to have some concealer on that part. Now I'm going in with my NARS eyeshadow base. I'm just going to put a little dot of that on each eye. No need to go back into the container on that one. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, I have this IT brush, two-ended IT Cosmetics brush, and this right here is perfect. I use it's a multi-use for me. I just kind of blend it in like that, because if I get it on my fingers, it's kind of until it dries, it's a little bit slimy, and so and my things start falling out of my hands a little bit. So I just sort of kind of pat that in real gently, and I do the same thing on the other eye. Okay, that will dry pretty quick. So the next step that I go through after I've done my base or my foundation, my primers, and all that, the best thing that I can say to you is to do not put any creams on your skin once you have already put powder on. It'll just cake up, and if you have a real good primer, if it's got any silicone in it or anything like that, it'll just start to bunch up and roll up on your skin. So you don't want to do that. But what I do is I go ahead at this point and I start working on my eyes. And my eyes are really fast. It's not anything that is all that great. It's just something that I do. This is, like I said, my everyday go-to. If I don't know what I want to do or I'm in a hurry, this is what I do. I've got my Sigma E40. These are hard to come by because they recently changed the bristles and the cut on these. This is the best brush ever for your eyes. But I have my Makeup Geek shadows, and if you'll look right here, I've got kind of this, it's kind of a medium brown, I guess you would say, but I'm just going to kind of, start with this lighter color all over, and then I'm going to go in the crease with that. So I'm just going to kind of cover my lid just real messily. It doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, this is pretty much my skin tone, so I don't have to worry about it too much. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to hit that medium chocolate brown color. And I'm going to go right in the crease with it. I'm going to use the same brush. Just want to, you know, give it something to glide on. If you don't give it something to glide on, then it may get patchy on you or something like that, and you don't want that. So here we go. That was the, I don't even know what color this is. Let me look and see. That's Vanilla Bean. And I'm going to be going in my crease with Barcelona Beach. It's one of my favorites. I really like it a lot. Haven't had the makeup shadows very long, but I really like them. Tap off the extra, and then I just go straight into my crease. I'm not trying to, you know, be careful, but I am trying to keep it concentrated in the crease and not down on the lid. So I just do this, you know, get it in there. Make sure I over blend rather than under blend, like I said before. Me go ahead and get this other side going, and then I'll look and see if I want to darken it up. If I do, then I add more. But like I said, I have very hooded eyes, and right now they're swollen. My eyes stay swollen a lot. I have a lot of sleep issues, so I'm going to go in just a little bit more because I want to make it a little bit darker, a little bit more noticeable. I'm just blending it. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm just blending that brown right in. I'm avoiding the actual main part of my lid. I don't actually, on an everyday basis, I don't even come down on the lid at all with any color. I really don't. Let me get a little bit more for this eye. I mean, I don't even have to look in the mirror really, because I know where my eye crease is, and I just kind of go for it. But like I said, you build it up. You don't want to go in so strong that, you know, it looks like you made a mistake with a crayon. But anyway, okay, so this is what I end up with at this point, with just the Barcelona Beach in my crease. Then what I do is I go into this color down here. Let me see if I can figure out the name of it. It's stuck in my Z palette, so it's kind of hard to lift it up. Mocha. It's just straight up mocha is what it's called. And it's this dark color right here. I don't know if you can see. It's the very one on the very top, that dark brown shade. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a little bit more of a more defining brush. This is a Morphe E17 that I'm using, and you can see it's in comparison to the other one. You can see the difference. It's much smaller, and it's a better detail brush. So what I do is I'm going to go into that, knock off the extra, and then I'm going to go into the corner, and I'm just going to kind of dance around right there in the corner and get the majority of my product right there in the corner, like that right there. And then I'm going to start bringing it up just a little bit, but I'm avoiding my lid, which I don't have much lid space at all, but I'm avoiding my lid the whole time. I'm just darkening this outer corner. And I'm pretty happy with the way that's looking right now. Okay, let's do the other side. Like I said, I just kind of dance in this outside area a little bit. Make sure that the majority of the color is in that outer V. And then I pull it forward just a little bit into the crease. Sometimes you find you have to go back and blend just a little bit. But as of right now, this is what I've got. Now I'm going to stop with my eyes for a minute. And what I'm going to do, I like to just, you know, sometimes there's a little fallout, sometimes there's not, but you know, I take a little cloth or even a brush or something, and I just kind of hit it underneath there just to make sure. All right, I'm going to go in with my NYX Dark Circle Concealer. Let's see if you can see it better. My concealer corrector. It's a kind of a peachy color, as you can see. It's kind of a peachy color. Take that It Cosmetics brush again, this flat topped end here. I just kind of go into the product, and I start working on my under eye circles. I have some very deep little caverns and crevices here. But, you know, when I first put it on, I kind of rub it in that just a little bit, and then I start bouncing my brush. Because if you start doing a whole lot of smearing on your face, and it really does, I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of product you're using or where you're using it at. Most of the time, unless you're blending out an eyeshadow, you really need to use this bouncing motion. That's the reason when I use my beauty blender and you see other people do that, the bouncing motion is the best way in the world to smooth out and get rid of some of those. So I don't know if you can see the difference. Now, if I look down, you can still see them, but looking straight on at me, just face to face, it has done a lot to conceal and correct that. Now, that's not all I use for concealer, of course. But this is just the correcting section. I do have to do it. I mean, even if I'm not doing full face, because I look like I'm half dead if I don't. So I do that. Then what I do is I find my Maybelline Fit. This is the concealer in the shade Fair Clair. I guess instead of Eclair, it's Fair Clair. I just take this and I do what everybody else does. I come down the side here and underneath the eye and just kind of form a little bit of a triangle. I mean, I'm messy about it. I don't care. I mean, you know, I just know that, you know, I need to brighten up this area because I have such an issue with things. I do, you know, I've got some redness like most people, and I also try to get it on my chin because of the redness. Okay, now I'm going back to my F80 from Sigma, and I'm just going to bounce, and I'm going to put that in there, just bounce down my nose. I'm just trying to blend, you know, let it blend in on its own. You don't want to go at it with a heavy hand and start, you know, trying to smear it in or anything like that, because if you do, you're going to have a mess on your hands. So I want to do this side first, and I'll let you see. And sometimes I'll hit this down here again in the areas where I have that redness and those broken capillaries. But okay, you can see here, you see how bright my under eye looks now? Now, you do look like a ghost a little bit at first until you start bronzing and that sort of thing. But, I mean, it's just one of these steps that as an older person that has had lots of lost sleep over the years and age and gravity and all those other things, I mean, my goodness, you have to do something to conceal yourself. I mean, I'm single. I kind of like to find a man. I may not find one, but you know what? I'm certainly not going to find one if I go to the ball field or Walmart, or I don't want to meet anybody in Walmart. I don't scratch that. No matter where I go, if I'm out to dinner with my son and there's a nice looking man that walks by, you know, always check, make sure there's no wedding ring, but that's still no indication. Here in Alabama, people, they hide real quick, you know. So I have gone off on a tangent. Anyway, what I'm trying to do is bounce this in. And that's what I have done. Once I bounce that in, I take this. I have my, let's see, let me find it. This is my Morphe E8. It's just sort of, I don't know, it's got a little bit of a rounded top. I love it. But I'm taking my Rimmel Stay Matte, and it's in nude beige. And what I do is I kind of have to make a face. Looks like that Scream movie mask. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do. But you got to keep it from creasing. I mean, there's just, you have to. In Alabama, the humidity that's usually at 100 degrees. And you don't look down again until you've laid some powder on it. And once you can feel it starting to get soft and it's not grabbing the brush, then you can slowly start, you know, using more of a brush stroke. And I hold my brushes like a pencil. I think most people do, but if you care. Okay, so once I get that done, then what I do is I take, I've got this big brush here. This is it's the Morphe E2. Love this brush. What I do is I kind of swirl it around, and then I start setting. I have to set my whole face. One, because of the weather. Two, because I'm older, and I just have to. I mean, I really don't have any choice. I'm not sure. I hope it's not showing up on camera. It's sort of everything sort of seems a little washed out and a little white on camera, but we're going to see. We'll see how it turns out. If it's at least decent, I'll go ahead and load it up just so you can kind of see what I've got going on. But yeah, I load up the powder. But it's, you know, it's one of those that it's mattifying powder, because I only want, with my age, I only want the shine where I place the shine. So I definitely use a mattifying primer. And then what I will do is I have the Laura Mercier, it says highlight, but it's matte radiance is what it's called. And so I use this, looks like this, and it's just a little dome shot top. I recently got this in a haul. I'm loving it. And what I do is I just kind of go over, you know, just a tiny little bit, just to give myself some radiance, you know, and, you know, that sort of thing. It's a powder, so it really just, it's that lit from within look. Instead of using a, like a, I guess one of those primers they've got out now that, it's supposed to be like a highlight that you use all over your face before your foundation. Yeah. So even though I go in with a matte primer, I still don't want to look, you know, like I'm dead. And this kind of gives you just enough of a sheen so that you don't look dead. All right. And I'll use this over and over and over, this brush. I'll come back to it shortly. Okay. Now, I've done that much. Now let's go back to the eyes. What I need to do is I need to take those same colors that I use, which you do on top, you do on bottom. I'm going to be using the Morphe E18. It's a real tiny definer brush. And what I'm going to do, which is just easier for me, I take the medium shade of the three that I use, and I will be using a third here shortly. But I take that medium shade, which is this Barcelona Beach, and I just kind of tap in that a little bit, knock off the extra. And I just go real, again, I mean, pretty much on top of my lashes, but very, very lightly, because I'm going to come back in with a liner in a bit on my bottom lash line. I just want to kind of give it some depth. So if you've already got a shade there, I don't know if you can see the difference already, but you put just a little bit of a shadow under that line, or on that lash line, I should say. It's really on it. I put just a little bit on the lash line so that when I come in with a liner, which I'm going to be using a brown liner today, when you put a little bit of a shadow, it gives a little bit of dimension, and it keeps, in my opinion, it keeps your liner from being really harsh, especially when this is just an everyday look. Okay, I'm going to save that for later. Let me go and get my liner. Okay, I've got the liner. It is Revlon Luxurious Color Eyeliner, and it's in suede brown. It's got the product on this tip. It is one of those, unfortunately, has to be sharpened, but then it's got the smudger on this end. Really like these. I like these that have a smudger because I feel like that I can smudge it out, and even if I've made a mistake, it doesn't really show up that much. So what I do is I just kind of go in. I do have to look in the mirror for this, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going right on the lash line, really close to my lash line, as close as I can really get. I did not go all the way into the corner, but I do go out to the outer V. And so let's see if you can see the difference between the two. This is the liner on top, and this is no liner on top. I don't know if you can tell from that it just looks so washed out right now on the film. I mean, my camera looks really washed out. I do the same thing on the bottom lash line. I just stay right on the lashes. Okay, and then I go back over to the other side and do the same thing. Okay, and then I do the lower lash line again. They say if you have hooded lids to put your liner, you know, to tight line and do the water line. I do that if I'm using black, but this is brown. I'm just going along. I don't even have to look in the mirror. I can kind of feel where that's going. I smudge it out so that there's no chunks left. All it does is just deepen up my eyes. And I feel like with brown, if you have blue eyes, that brown is a very complementary color to blue eyes. So, yeah. I mean, you know, that's just why I do this. I just feel like it's just a little bit of an added touch that helps my eyes look nice without overdoing it. I wear contacts. So, you know, if I get a lot of powder product in my eyes, I can't see, and then they get blurry, and I end up having to change contacts. So it's, you know, I always make sure I kind of mash on the corner of my eye just a little bit, not hard, but just a little bit, just to make sure that there's, you know, there's no chunk of, you know, eyeliner there. Okay, so I finished with that. I'm going to go ahead and put that right there. Whoop, I'm sorry. Okay, so I've done that. So what I'm going to do, and in the future, I'll try to kind of get y'all a little bit closer, but this is what I have so far. Okay, I go back in one more time and just, you know, go through that crease and make sure that it's okay. Now, back to the eyeshadows. This is called, this second one right here, where my finger is, it's one of my favorites. It's called Shimma Shimma. And I love it. It is a great, 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 I guess you'll call it a frost or a satin. So this is one of the ways that I use those, because I've told you in the past that I don't use those very often. So I'm just dusting my brush off to make sure there's nothing on there. But this is the Morphe E17, and I'm just going to go into that Shimma Shimma a couple of times, knock off the extra, and then I'm going to hit the upper area of my brow bone with that. I'm just going to do it just like this, just the upper brow bone. I can not usually handle a whole lot, and I kind of come down just a little bit where the tail of my brow is, which we're going to deal with in just a minute. But I just put a little bit of that on the brow bone. I don't know if you can kind of see, but it opens your eyes up so much. So back in there for the other side, I just do this. I'm so not a professional, guys. I know y'all are sitting here thinking, Lord have mercy, what is she doing to her face? But you know what? I think that you do what you do, you boo. You know, you do what you feel like looks good on you. And unless somebody calls you out on it and says, little girl, you need help, let me help you, let me teach you how to do this or whatever. If that ever happens, and that's different. But you know what? Otherwise, I think we all know what is complimentary to our own face. You know, that sort of thing. I just think it's one of those situations where, you know, you have to do you. And you do what makes you comfortable. And, you know, I'm just not one of these that's going to have, I mean, I'll do a black smoky eye if I'm going out to dinner with somebody, you know, and it's going to be like New Year's or something, but I that's not something I can pull off every day, and Lord knows I can barely even put on eyelashes, so I just have to be careful. Okay, so what I do next, I have the Gimme Brow by Benefit. When I do not draw and fill in, I do have my Anastasia Brow Wiz, but on a day like this, I don't do anything like that. I just go through my brows. I just kind of brush this through my brows. Make sure there's some color there. It tames the ones that are, you know, a little bit wild. I do try to keep them trimmed, and I do pluck them. I get them waxed, I don't know, every few months or so. But for the most part, I just try to maintain my brows. I've got one little brow right there that's trying to cause me deals this morning. Let's see. But I mean, that's all I do to my brow. And I mean, hey, Gimme Brow is it's the way to go for just every day. I mean, this is what I would do for work. This is what I would do, you know. Of course, I'm not still working, but if I were, you know, this is definitely what I would do. Now, I have made a mess here, so that I've got to clean up. Okay, let's try again. Let's do this. I'm just doing the same thing that I did to the other eye. I'm just kind of going up in the middle, and as I get to the arch, I start going sideways and then down. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you know, I don't have the patience and, you know, to deal with the brow thing every single day. I mean, as long as I feel like that my eyebrows are in check, that they are nice and straight and they're laying down, I mean, I feel like this is decent, you know, for me. I'm not doing any heavy makeup or anything like that, so, you know, that's what I do. Okay, the next thing that I need to do is, and I'll come back to mascara and curling my lashes and all that kind of stuff in just a minute. But the next thing that I need to do is I need to bronze up just a little bit because, you know, Bronzing is something that for me, because I'm pale right now, is something that I really have to do. I have this It Cosmetics contour brush. You can see how thin it is. It's a wonderful little brush. It was just in a little case that I got. They were running a special on this. I think I was on, it might have been drugstore.com that I found this on. I'm not positive though, so don't hold me to it. But anyway, I just kind of, you know, run it in there, knock it off, and then I just sort of place it by bouncing right there. You want to line it up with the top of your ear right here. I just sort of place it in that area. And I kind of go back and forth, back and forth. You do not want to come down with it. Sometimes I have to get a little more. It just depends, you know, like I said, everything in moderation, and you build up. Don't go in hardcore. You'll wish you hadn't. But I just kind of, once I get it placed, you know, to give me, I don't know if you can, I mean, I actually think you can see. This is where my contour is, and I have no contour here. Do you see how it gives the illusion of this bone right here popping out? Contouring. And you know, and I'm using a bronzer today, and not like, I would usually, like if I'm going to really contour, then I'm going to use my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. I'm going to contour hard. I'm going to make sure that I've got, you know, a cut through there that really shows, and then I'll go back and bronze the rest of my face. One of the things, if you want a fuller lip, you can go in right underneath the edge of your lip right here, and I'll give the illusion of your lip kind of being a little more plump. I do not do anything to my nose. I don't do anything at all like that. I'm not that girl. I'm just a normal lady. Okay, so let me get this side done. Like I said, when you put it in there, and you don't want to come too far close to your mouth either. I mean, that's a no-no. Try to keep it on your cheek, that sort of thing. Okay, and then I kind of blend it in just a little bit. Now I take this bronzer. Oh, and I didn't tell you, but I'm using the Bronze Booster by Physicians Formula today. I'm using a lot of, mostly, I guess you would say, drugstore. I like to put a little around the outside of my face, and a little bit underneath the edge here to kind of hide these fat jaws I have. Oh, goodness. Okay, so I do that. Now I'm done with that. Now, I'll come back in with this big brush in just a minute. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, here it is. This is my NARS Orgasm. NARS Orgasm. It is a gorgeous peachy shade. It has just a little bit of a gold shimmer in it, which is fine. I mean, you know, I think that we can do those kinds of things. And this is the brush that came with the Shade and Light palette by Kat Von D. I'm just going to use the rounded one because it seems to do the best for me, for, you know, so I just dab it in there just like everybody else does. And I like blush. Because I feel like, you know, it takes away a little bit of the redness that I have going on downstairs below it. But I do it on the apples of my cheeks, and then I kind of blend back just a little bit. And I kind of do it, you know, I feel like that I'm pretty generous with it, but I don't overdo it. Does that make sense? So anyway, I was thinking while I'm sitting here, why don't you guys comment down below? I'd love to know where everybody is from, what state, what country, that sort of thing. I'm just curious to know what kind of people, you know, where you're from. My viewers that watch me and have started watching my channel, comment below and let me know where you're from. I think that would be kind of fun to know. Okay, I think that I've got enough blush on. Now comes the big, the Morphe E2 again. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to kind of blend this together. You don't want to have a streak of bronzer or contour, whichever you want to call it, and then a streak of blush. You don't want that. You want it to be, you know, you want it to be all together, kind of working together and complementing each other. Now what I do is I have got my Becca Champagne Pop, one of my favorites. It's beautiful. You can see that glow. I love a gold highlighter, and this thing is so fun. I just love it. I love it, love it, love it. I'm so glad they made it permanent, because if I end up going out of it, I'm going to need it. Okay, now I have to be careful with this because of the age of my skin. I have a lot underneath my eyes. I have a lot of fine lines and wrinkles, and not to mention these caverns I've got that, I've already concealed. What I have to do is I have to be really careful. I get right on the top of that cheekbone. I do not get in that eye area. I stay away from that under eye area, and I start kind of blending, and placing it. Then I go up in a C shape right above the high point of my brow. And I kind of bring it down in a C shape. And that's what I do with that. Let me do the other side. It doesn't take long. Let me do this other side. I have to be real careful. Like I said, I'm getting right here on that brow bone. On that brow bone. On my cheekbone. I'm getting right there on my cheekbone. And then I'll start kind of carrying it up into that C shape. If I could talk. Sally sells, she said, I can't even say it. Sally sells seashells by the seashore. I think, isn't that the tongue twister that we learned as a kid or whatever? But anyway, I do that a little bit down the length of my nose, not all the way up to my eyes, just about like that right there, and the point of my nose. And then I also kind of spread my lips out, and I do just a little bit. Oh, and before I started putting on makeup, I did put on my Yes to Coconut lip balm. That keeps your lips, from getting too dry. So that's all I do with my highlighter. So, this highlighter probably going to last me 10 years, but, that's what it is. Because I have to be careful. I love highlighter, but I do have to be careful with it, that sort of thing. Okay, next thing I'm going to do, because I think that gets just about every product so far that I keep bumping y'all, I'm sorry. See, I told you I'm an amateur. I'm just a normal girl. I'm just a normal girl from Alabama. I don't know nothing. I just know what I like, and if I have anything that I can teach somebody, then that's what I'm going to do, But I maybe not do anything that you've seen before. And then again, maybe I am doing something that you've never seen, and heck, I don't know, but I just know it's fun, and I'm talking to you guys, and I'm enjoying that. Okay, I'm going to use, and that was my Tarte. These are from Tarte. They were from the holiday collection this year. Best ones ever. Okay, I have been trying to use this up. It's the Sexy Curves by Rimmel. Mascara, and this mascara is, where else would you put mascara? Of course it's eye mascara. Mascara. And so I just do the top lashes. I just, kind of, what I do is let me see if I can do it in here. I get at the base, and I wiggle up. I think I just made a mess, because I can't see good in that. Let me see. If you do make a mess, if you hadn't already figured this out, or you hadn't ever heard it before, just let it dry. I did make a mess, but I don't usually. I think it's because I was trying to look in that small camera, and I couldn't see really well. But I do a really good first coat, but I just get at the root of the lash, and I kind of wiggle it up and then pull out straight, or pull up straight, I should say. That didn't sound too good, did it? That kind of sound, that was a little ugly, Kelly. Pulling out. What you know about pulling out, girl? You single. I'm crazy. I'm crazy. I'm totally crazy. And you guys will, the longer you get to know me and the more time I spend on camera, you will realize that most people in Alabama call me a hoot. But yeah, I'm just me. I try to be as genuine as I possibly can be with anybody and everybody that I know, because, life's just too short to be fake or, anything like that. And I just try to be me. I try to be truthful and loyal and, those kinds of things. And I feel like that, if you are like that, people know it. Your credibility and your reputation cannot be replaced. And when I was teaching school and I was talking to young girls about them, when they would come to me for advice or things, I had to be real careful about what I talked to them about. But at the same time, there were times when, they'd be sitting in my room just squalling uncontrollably over something that had happened on the bus or something that's been happening on, on social media or something. And I had to talk to them. And a lot of times, I talked to the girls about, the importance of their reputation and how important it was to maintain a reputation. I do have a couple places that I've messed up, but I'm going to go in with the Clinique bottom lash. Mine is in just black, So I'm going to go in. It's got a teeny tiny little brush at the end, which is wonderful because I have some little blonde lashes on the inner corner of my eye, and it grabs those really easily. I try to be careful with this, and I just kind of, try to get it through there. But I have contacts, like I said, and I have to blink because my eyes get dry if I hold them open too long. And so it's just inevitable that it's going to get all underneath there. But that's fine. I mean, I've got the time to do it, so I do it. And that's it. It's, mascara is the easiest mistake to clean up. I mean, it really is. It would be a lot harder to go in too hard with blush or bronzer and then try to fix that. It just doesn't, it doesn't translate for me to do. I mean, it's just not good for my time management. And I've been sitting here, it's 40 minutes now. And if you're still watching, God bless you, help you. Okay, what I do now is I get a cotton swab, and I just go in and kind of flick away any of the areas that where the mascara touched the skin. And I almost always have to do this on my left eye because I just can't reach around like that. But anyway, so you can see it's much better than I looked before I started. So what I do now is I go ahead and I put on my lipstick. Today I'm using the Kat Von D Lolita, which I love. It's my go-to because it's just easy and it matches everything. I haven't learned or bought an editing program of any kind. And I need to do that so I can start cutting out some of these things. But hey, I figure if you're willing to watch me in my raw state and you're still sticking with me, you're good people. That's what I think. Okay. I just let that dry. But, that's my normal makeup thing. The only thing I have left to do is put my finishing spray on, which is my Scandinavia. I put that on, and it makes all of the different products on your face just kind of mesh together and go together, and it just looks so nice. So I'm going to put this on. And I do love me some finishing spray because it holds it tight, especially the Scandinavia. But, that's it. That's what I do. Now I have to do, I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do for my hair, which sitting out at the ballpark with a pair of sunglasses on and that sort of thing, I don't have to do much. I'll run my curling iron through the frizziest parts or whatever and that sort of thing, take my headband off. But, guys, that's me. This is what I do. And, I just appreciate you sticking around for 43 and a half minutes. So I love you guys. If you enjoyed this, I really would appreciate, a thumbs up. If you're new and you just come across my channel and you're watching me, I know you probably think I'm crazy, but those that have been around for a little while, I think they kind of know that it's just, I'm just, a little bit of wit and a little bit of sarcasm never hurt anybody. So that's just me, and that's what I try to do. So anyway, yeah, guys, I'm going to go because it's been so long. I love you. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a fabulous day. Bye.